Hello and welcome back to The Spotter. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mrs. Morgan. Um, Obviously, Mum was on the podcast. I need to remember I'm talking into here, but looking in there. Mum was on the podcast in December when me and Abby did our sort of like seasonal special Q&A, and you sort of gate crashed the episode to talk about. I think we were talking about our also, mind your elbow on that, just so I don't want it to feed through into the mic. Sometimes it can sort of send vibrations into the thing. Anyway, I think we were talking about like favourite films and stuff like that over Christmas because there was like a good couple of questions on there. But as we know, the podcast is about this continuous journey that I'm on, and that many of you that listen are on as well. And I think it's key to draw upon my experience in life as much as I can, because I think I have lived quite a varied life. Lots of things happened, and obviously a lot of that comes down to obviously what we've been through as well as a family. You know, a lot of what my mum has been through in her life, I have delved into on the podcast because it does influence me and everything that I've been through and what I stand for today. And you know, mum has lived that, and I thought it'd be good today because, and I'll talk about this. There's a special sort of like once a year at the minute. There's a special month for us. It's April, and it marks, as you may have seen in the title, it marks 8 years in April that we've just passed as of recording this, since Mum had her stem cell transplant for AML, and that's acute myeloid leukemia, isn't it? A bit of a mouthful. But yeah, as we know, the podcast is that continuous journey. I want to make sure that I'm doing and having conversations with people that inspire me, and my mum is someone that inspires me massively, and I'm sure she will inspire many individuals. I think you know, a lot of people that know me know what I do, what I stand for, and everything I do in life is to, you know, basically emulate, replicate, you know, the sheer strength that I think my mum has, resilience, persistence, all of that. Stubborn bitch, eh? Yeah, that's what you'd say. I will obviously let Mum introduce herself a little bit, but there's a lot to delve into, and I did ask Mum before this, you know, to make sure she wanted to do this, and I think there's a lot we can delve into in future episodes together, and providing you're happy to, over lots of different things. But today we wanted to really draw upon and hopefully connect this episode with other individuals that are perhaps going through something similar.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, and sort of, you know, say again, you're not alone. This is something, I'm not going to say something that's very common, but obviously you never know what's going on behind closed doors, and we have lived this, you've lived this, you know, that cancer journey in general is, it can feel often, I can imagine, very lonely, but as a family you share it as well, don't you? This experience, whether that is, you know, whatever type of cancer that is, and it's a horrible and grueling situation, thing to go through, and to see your loved ones, you know, people you hold dearest, go through. And it's, yeah, to think now that we're 8 years on, and we call it, you know, celebrating 8 years of your second life, don't we? Because when you had the stem cell transplant, I think they called it, for many, this is a second life, or day zero of life number 2.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it can feel like that. And I know obviously it's hard to go back and think about that, because obviously I know that it's difficult with the memory situation as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, just to draw on, maybe, well, I guess I know people know who you are because I've spoken about you a lot. You've been on the podcast, but you know, you're my mum. You've been through a lot. Mum is, you're going to be 64 this year, aren't you?
Yes.
64 with plenty of years left to live and give. And you know, you've been through a lot. Like, I'm 27, and I've seen through all of my years that it's never been like a plain sailing period for you. You've been through a lot, and we often joke that, you know, in the nicest way possible, that you could write a book about everything that you've been through and are still living with, because it's been a lot, hasn't it? Like, and we won't reel through everything today because I don't want to have to relive certain things,
But
but
I've told you before, it's like you sink or swim.
sink or swim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess if we relay, because what I think it might be useful to do is sort of go back and do a brief history lesson of what sort of like started this journey and where we ended up today. So, and I'm so good with like the dates because it's
2016.
yeah, it's like even you. Let's see what I mean. Like it's enriched into my flipping brain. Like I think it was December 9th. I recall this because I usually get the Christmas tree at the same day every year, and I was going to get the Christmas tree from the garden centre. December, yeah, December 9th, 2016. And I remember on the way back, coming back and parking up, and I saw my gran and grandpa here, Mabs and John.
Mm-hmm.
And John, he'd said to me, bless him, he said, I think you need to go inside. And you'd obviously had the news. And I think it was because mum has bipolar as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Bipolar disorder. So she has regular blood tests to ensure things are sort of in order as well. And we got in and I saw, bless you, you were outside chain smoking, obviously through stress. And Mabs was crying. And then you come in and said to me, I've just been told that I've been diagnosed with leukemia. So here we go, basically. And then I think it was through the regular blood tests. Thank God you got multiple
through
the medication. Yeah, because Mum has to be under constant review for her medication she takes. And I think it was they rang you about 10 times because you were at the charity shop that you worked at.
Yeah.
Doing your your volunteering days, and they were trying to get hold of you, but it was in your locker.
Yeah.
And they told Mum, and obviously I found out, and obviously at that point I just chucked the Christmas tree outside. I didn't bother doing it for that day. And that kick-started the journey, and from that point onwards we just thought to ourselves, right, this is where it begins, doesn't it?
Go.
We got you either, but like you said, sink or swim. You have kind of no choice,
deal
really.
with it.
And from that point onwards it was literally hospital constantly. We were in, shout out to local hospital, Wexham Park.
It was John Radcliffe, wasn't it?
No, that was 2018.
No. What was the one?
It was the Churchill 2018. That's where all the. So we'll get to that, but like, it's good memory though. But like, yeah, it started that chemotherapy journey, and that's
awful stuff.
Yeah, that was grueling, absolutely grueling. So we sort of went through that phase of thinking that okay, you go through your chemo and you deal sadly with things like the hair loss, the weight gain, and then weight loss, mobility issues, and also like, because I think in the first 2 rounds of chemo that you could go in, have your chemo, be in hospital for a while, and then come out for like 3 or 4 weeks before you went back in for your next lot or something like that. And in the first 2 bouts, you were okay, you were dealing quite well, and then it suddenly hit you in the 3rd and 4th. You lost your hair.
Yeah.
And then the sheer fatigue and gruelingness of the treatment really set in. And yeah, it was a really, really tough year.
Horrendous.
And I think 2017, Mum didn't really, I don't think you got to really enjoy that Christmas. We had you out for the day release in 2017. Actually, even thinking about that again, it's basically went through that year, thought, right, because when you go through cancer treatment, you try and, I think the aim is to get you in what they call remission.
Yeah.
So then it's like the clearance phase of when you get into a remission phase, and then you basically keep your fingers crossed that you keep getting years on that, and that is you are years in remission. I think it's either 3 to 5 years is the mark where they say if you pass that, it's usually safe to say you're recovered, you're cured. And we were, fantastic. Let's hope for that.
But we didn't.
No. And then I think it was exactly a year to the date, December 9th, 2017, we got the call from, I can't remember where it was from, but we got the call that Mum was re-diagnosed with AML and that chemo hadn't worked, and it was still existing. So we thought at that point, obviously, as you do, sadly, we were like, well, this is it. Like, what do we do now? Like, are we going to have to prepare ourselves for the worst? And we did, and we were trying to tell ourselves, you do. It's kind of like you can't really come to terms with it, really, because you're sort of in your head thinking to yourself, sadly, and don't mean to be morbid, that I might have to quickly like adjust to the fact that my mum might not be here soon.
Yeah.
And at the time, my dad was getting extremely ill through his alcohol addiction, and it was just spiraling. He was starting to lose mobility. He was basically sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into his alcohol addiction. So whilst he was there for me, he wasn't physically always around for me, because he had his own struggles, bless him. And in my head, I personally was thinking to myself, well, soon I'm going to be parentless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because in my head, I thought we always said, didn't we? We were like, Dad's on borrowed time, bless him.
Yeah.
Because after 2014, Dad really deteriorated, and that was his prime. And then after that, he really let himself go a bit, didn't he? Because he was just drinking. And
Yeah.
you obviously were going through all of this as well, and it was a lot. I was really sort of struggling to keep it together and start my career as well, because
Yeah.
that's when I left school, I think 2016, and started my career.
Yeah.
So yeah, re-diagnosed December 2017. We all, as a family, were starting to come to terms with it, and then they said, right, from here onwards, it's a case of, we do more chemo.
I'm waiting for a donor.
And then, after the chemo, it's like a preparation phase of hopefully getting a stem cell transplant and finding a donor that will suit Mum's blood type.
And we did, a German.
Well, we did,
Anonymous.
thankfully. But anonymous. But it got to a point where we went through, I think at that point, it was a case they said you had to go to the Churchill Hospital in Oxford. So it was more specialised treatment. So she was there for the best part of that year, 5-6 months continuously. And then maybe even longer than that, constant back and forth there all the time. We felt like we spent most of our life there, to be fair, didn't we? Obviously you did at that point. But went through the chemo, and that got really, really bad. That was like when you really were trying to maintain as much. Mind that, I keep shaking. I'm just worried that when you're leaning, put your arms down there for a minute. Your arms down there.
Okay.
Just because it's shaking, I don't know if it's giving vibrations on there. I think that during that phase, you got worse very quickly, if I recall, because obviously you'd already been through chemo in 2017. Very weak. So trying to get the body, because really what chemo is, if I remember rightly, is it's you are destroying. It's like a sense of destroying cells in the body.
Yes.
So you have to get your immune system almost to
nil,
and then destroy whatever's left in the body in the hope that it kills the cancer.
Yeah.
So the fact that Mum had been through that, tried recovering throughout December, the end of 2017, hit with it again, and then suddenly we were back in it again for 4 rounds, followed by the search for a donor throughout that year, and we were just in bits, thinking, oh my God, this isn't going to work out. And long story short, we were told that as a family we're all tested, I think, and they said none of us.
Match.
Yeah, I think you had quite a unique blood type, didn't you?
I've got A rhesus negative.
Okay, so if anyone's listening and has got a similar blood type, let me know to Mum, because I don't know if that's regular or irregular. I think I've got a very regular blood type, but you...
O positive.
That's me?
Yeah, that's normal. So
right.
My A rhesus negative is...
I keep thinking of Reese's Puffs. Not Reese's Puffs, Reese's peanut butter cups when you say that. You know those little sweets?
Yeah.
So anyway, go on, carry on. Say O Reese's...
No, A rhesus negative I am. But I don't
You're
know
A
what
or O? I'm
A.
O. Okay.
I don't know what I am now, because I've had a...
Oh, maybe it's... I don't know.
I don't know, it might have changed, but I was...
I doubt that.
I was A rhesus negative.
No, I just think they get something that matches yours.
Oh, I don't know.
Either way, the technicalities wise, put that aside. None of us were a match, so we felt dreadful. But it wasn't our fault. But you feel dreadful because you're like, oh my God, I'm not even a match for my mother.
Yeah.
And we were worried at that point, thinking this is it. And I think they do brief you. They say if we can't find a match, you're gonna have to. It's going to be a case of coming to terms with. And I don't know what you do at that moment, but what would your thoughts be if you were to? I don't mean to relay, but if someone said
die,
but if they said to you it's, prepare yourself type thing, would you have said to them, I want to know how long left, or would you have said, let me just live for now?
Yeah,
would you have said, let me just carry on?
Yeah, because I'd like to put things in order, wouldn't I? So
no, as in would you have said, could you tell me how long, or would you have said, can I really?
Yeah, of course I would.
So I would have. I don't mean to talk morbidly, but I personally would have just been. I think I would have said, if it were me and I was told that, I would have gone, let me just live out whatever. Do you know what I mean? Without thinking. But then I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? You don't want to think about that because obviously you're here now, thankfully.
No.
But yeah. So Mum didn't have a match to any of us, but through Anthony Nolan, the charity, big up to them.
Great great charity.
and everything they stand for.
Yeah, yeah.
The search for the donor came to a conclusion, and an anonymous German donor was found. And we'll never know who that is because it's obviously confidentiality, and we're not allowed to know that. But Mum found a donor. They did, and in April 2018, after nearly 2 years of chemotherapy and recovery to get into that position, we had day zero. We call it day zero of starting your new life. So happy 8th birthday, eh? Happy 8th birthday to Mum. And yeah, really, I just wanted to do this podcast to highlight that you've come an extremely long way. Like, it's to see as a son everything you've been through throughout those years and prior in the lead up, knowing what you've suffered with in your life.
Yeah.
And you're still here today.
Yeah.
And do you know what? And I'll do a shout out here as well. Like, I'm a part of a brand. I'm an ambassador for a brand called Always Forward.
Yeah.
And that message of Always Forward sits extremely true here. That those sort of sayings, like pushing through challenges regardless of what's going on. Or like pushing through the walls, choosing to keep strong, choosing to fight when you probably didn't want to. Is all what Always Forward is about. That message of keep pushing forward.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think that is an extremely key point. And that's why I wear it with pride as well. We'll have to get you a jumper or some leggings. You want to get to the gym leggings, dear? But very, very important message there with the brand, and that does sit very strongly with me and situations like this. But yeah, it's to think we're 8 years in now to your second, like, fingers crossed, extremely in the clear now to be recovered from cancer. But it was not plain sailing. It was a very grueling situation to go through. And I mean, I know it's hard for you to, and again, I'll delve into this in future, but I'll talk about it now. Regardless of what happened, Mum developed something else.
Yeah, encephalitis.
She developed encephalitis, sadly,
which was the worst part of everything.
Yeah, it was, and she suffers today because of that.
I do.
That is. You want to try and define what it is? Define what encephalitis is in your own words, if you can.
Well, I have a very bad short-term memory.
Yeah.
The long-term is better.
Very good.
But yeah, so I struggle daily, keep asking questions, repetitive to my son, who's here and always been here for me. Have to make logs of everything that I need to do.
Yeah.
Because a diary is like my memory.
It's your brain, isn't it? It's an extension of it. Yeah,
it is. Very difficult.
Very difficult, and I think you've described it well there in what it is like. In terms of a technical term, I will link the website to. There's another good charity, the Encephalitis Society.
That's it.
To my understanding, encephalitis is actually quite a rare condition to develop. I think it's from the herpes.
That's it.
Herpes virus.
That's it.
And then it develops into encephalitis, and it's frontal lobe damage. And it's caused Mum basically.
That's what the short-term memory is.
Yeah, it's caused like Mum complete short-term memory loss, and it's affected other things, hasn't it? Your mobility. I think the cancer did as well.
It's affected everything.
Mobility, fatigue.
Yeah.
A lot of that. Like, it's just the way in which your confidence as well. Bless you. Like your confidence, maybe anxiety.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happened post. And these are the things I don't think people realise that can happen because your immune system's so low. You're susceptible to a lot, aren't you? It's so like.
Well, I ended up with was it sepsis?
Sepsis, I think. Once I think you had sepsis. She's had pneumonia. Multiple times. Yeah. And Mum actually did a stint in. She did a stint actually in. I think it was basically 2018. She had in April was when she had a stem cell transplant. June sort of time developed encephalitis.
Yeah.
And then we were in a sort of like an up and down few months of you with anxiety, trying to come home, not adjusting to home, having to go back into hospital.
Was this
and then
the
going
pneumonia
and then,
next or the sepsis?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was. Then you had to go back into a more local hospital. And I think you developed. I can't remember if you caught sepsis at that point or you had double pneumonia.
Yeah.
And then you had to go into ICU under a coma for 3 weeks. She was put into an induced coma for 3 weeks, bless her. And that's an odd experience. for family.
Yeah, awful.
Do you know, like
I would imagine.
walking in, seeing mum,
Yeah,
you're not you were unable to talk to us because you were under
yeah,
it was like a bloody spell, like a forced coma to monitor you and basically get you better.
yeah.
And you're talking to your mum at a bedside and she's not able to respond to you. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. And I don't like to relive all of this, but I think it's key to talk about the sides that people don't necessarily see. And also, you know, if anyone else has been affected in any way by similar, I guess,
Situations.
situations, similar diagnoses or whatever it is, you know, we've lived it. You've lived it. You're still here to tell the tale, and you know, I hear you. We feel you. Like it's a dreadful thing. All of this to go through, like anything like that, any stints in hospital, all of this, where there's a lot of uncertainty around your loved ones. But you pulled through. You recovered, and then, but even after that, there was more. You know, and I don't mean to keep pushing on with this, but
Strong woman.
strong woman. Basically, there's a lot more that come after that. Anxiety. There was just adjustment period coming back home after
Very
so long in
difficult
hospital.
to
Yeah, but
to
you don't
adjust.
see it. Like obviously, it's a key to get hospital beds back, but to try and get you home was difficult because
Yeah, I couldn't cope.
you couldn't cope here
No.
at first. So there's a big transition period, and I was nervous for you, you know, because I was like I wanted to make sure the house was safe.
Well, you were here. You were, you know,
Yeah,
you're the only one that
no, it's
really.
I was here on my own. No,
Yeah, that's what I mean. But when I come out, you're the only one
that
that's
was here on my own.
yes, who's really seen a lot of things.
More in the sense that I think no, but
Post,
post all of it, yes,
yes,
because naturally I live here with mum. Do you know
yes,
what I mean? But and that I wouldn't change that. Like I feel a deep sense of care for my mum because you know, well, like any son would. You know what I mean? Any
well,
son, daughter,
any
whatever.
decent son,
Yeah,
yes.
but yeah, because I suppose some people, who knows? But yeah, but you never know what's going on in people's lives, do
No,
you? But
you don't. No.
we must admit, you know, like give it to the family. We've got a great family, haven't we?
Yes, we
We
have.
have got a bloody brilliant family.
Yeah,
Like
and
my
without your family, that you would be nowhere. It's God for these people that haven't got a supportive network. It must be awful.
everyone, uncles, aunts,
Yeah, the whole
your
family.
you know, your brothers, sorry,
Yeah.
my sisters, absolutely amazing girls. My nan, absolutely,
Oh,
what a mother.
spot on.
She is how
The
much
best.
she's been there for you through
Yeah.
thick and thin, hasn't she? Bless
Yeah.
her. The
Yeah.
girls have been, and myself as well. Obviously, I'm not dabs, but like we've all, you know,
Yeah.
your sister-in-law, you know, sister-in-laws, or you know,
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
pulled in.
Yeah.
You've got great friends as well, but yeah. But long story short, it's been a journey to get here. But look at you now, and I guess if I had to ask you some questions, like not, I know it's hard to delve into, but do you what would you say is at the minute your like biggest struggle? Like, what do you? Because obviously, I try and remind you that you have like
My
how
bo-
far you've come. Like, look at you now. Look at how well you look. How much you still do. She still goes to the charity shop. You look after your mum in some ways. You know, you look out for her with her shopping and things like that. Mum's always. I would say this. You're always caring. You've always had a caring nature.
Yeah.
You've done
I
2
try.
Kosovo trips. She's done 8 trips in the past. For God's sake, she's
Yeah.
done
I have.
so much for other people. Um, I think yeah, you just got such a caring nature. So I guess for you, like, what's the most difficult thing that you'd say post your? I know obviously there's been a lot, but post like cancer and adjusting to life 8 years on, what would you say is the most difficult thing for you, sort of, to
My memory.
your memory at the minute?
Yeah, I think so.
But you wouldn't say anything to do with like fatigue and mobility and stuff like that after what you know, because
I
that treatment did a lot.
Yeah, I'm very weak. I'm extremely weak in my legs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
you say like the physical adjustment was quite
yeah.
difficult.
My memory's bad. My body's not the same.
Yeah.
But then I am 63.
Yeah,
So
but it's not just about age, is it? I guess
no,
for you, going through.
I tire easily.
Yeah,
But I tire very easily.
yeah,
Like and then now I start to slow my words. Like I'm tiring now.
yeah.
So
But again, these are all the things that,
happen.
yeah, and you're, you know, in fair play, like you are made aware of things that can happen.
Yeah.
but you don't really see it, do you, until obviously the post treatment, and then
No.
it starts to set in. Bless her. And sometimes you just, you say, like, you would have gone on walks back in the day, and now you just don't have the energy sometimes, do you? Like, to do.
I don't. It's like I don't really remember what it was like before.
But that's more to do with the encephalitis, sadly,
Yeah.
isn't it? And yeah, I think that's a separate subject in
Yeah.
itself, and
Yeah.
that is something that I'd like to open up at some point down the line on the podcast and do a highlight of encephalitis. Talk about the struggles daily with that, and
Yeah.
just what very niche but like powerful and difficult condition to live with, and not just for me, like, sorry, not just for you, but for me as well, to
Yeah. To
try
watch.
and
Yeah.
to watch and
To see your mum sort of like
mm.
losing what she was it can't be very nice. And it's not nice for my family,
But then, yeah, but in the sense that I look at things now and think that,
You're just grateful for what you've
oh,
got. Yeah.
we're 8 years into
Yeah.
what could have been nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm forever grateful
Grateful.
of the donor, the situation that happened. The fact that you were able to have that treatment,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're still here to tell the tale. Yeah, great. But I know it's not been easy, and I know it's been an adjustment period for you and for everyone.
Oh God, yeah.
I guess that your and I know it's difficult. Your experience with cancer is going to be like no one else's, because everyone has a unique. I can imagine everyone's got a unique situation with when it comes to cancer, whatever the
It's
type.
not. I coped with the cancer. It's
You coped with the cancer
it's the encephalitis
now,
that's buggered me up.
but you coped with the cancer during, because you told yourself. I remember
Yeah.
you were that first year. She was like so determined, like, and I remember you were like, you just said to yourself, well, I've got to get off. I've got to get on with it now. I've got no choice, really.
I
But
told you, sink or swim.
you said, that's it. I'm doing it. Like, and what would you say? Words of advice to, if you had any words of advice to someone or family that are going through a situation where they're either struggling with a diagnosis themselves, or their family members that they're watching on are struggling with a diagnosis of cancer themselves. So what would you say as words of advice to someone? I know it's a bit of a loaded question, but what would you say if you could say to someone, like you'll sink or swim, or, what would you say to someone that's struggling, like, or might need a bit of words of encouragement?
I don't really know, actually.
Because you're someone that's been through it. Like, what would you say? You're a very stubborn and strong individual, but there might be people out there that feel that like they're struggling. They need to hear. So I don't know. Like, I'm just what would you say?
Just pull on your resources, lean on people that you can, and well, basically,
Yeah.
try and take one step forward. You might take two back, but keep trying to take another step forward.
Yeah. That's bang on. Like, there's nothing more to say there. That is amazing. Like, it doesn't really feel real for me to say it's been 8 years since all of that, because I can remember it vividly. And I think all of us can in the family as well. And I know you struggle too, and we try not. But again,
it actually quite seems like a bit of a distant memory to me now.
Would you say it's really weird though? You say distant memory, yeah. Would you say it's a really difficult one. Due to the memory issues, sadly,
Yeah.
would you say it's almost a bit of a blessing that you can't remember, sadly, what you went through? Some of it.
It's great. I
Really?
can't remember having the illness,
the treatment.
The treatment.
So
I can't remember about bipolar. None of it. It's all.
So you'd say that
distant.
Obviously, it's dreadful, but in some hindsight, sorry, not hindsight, but in some regard, it's kind of helped you not have to relive some of the worst part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you wouldn't want.
I don't. I'm not living it, but my family lives it, because they're, you were all sort of there, aware and still aware of what was. I luckily have lost all of that.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Like, yeah, luckily, so you'd have to relive, but sadly, you wouldn't have wanted to be in this situation. But we can't help that, and that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
So, that's a conversation for another day, and we won't talk about that. But I think that the blessing is, like I said to you, you're here, you're healthy.
Yeah.
And she always jokes, like, we got the camera up to record, and you were like, oh, I don't want to see that, I don't want to look at myself. You look great. For a 63-year-old, you do not shave at least 10 years off. Genuinely.
I said
Genuinely.
about
Uh,
that. You're biased. You're my son.
Yeah, of course I am. No, you are amazing, Mum, genuinely. And I
try.
You try, but but trust me, I see it all the time. I am extremely proud to call you my mum. We all are very proud to call you our mum.
I start now, so I'm start to cry.
Oh, I'm tearing up as well. But these little reminders of like how far you've come are special to me because I don't have my dad in my life now, and I could have been without you as well.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder to me that I really do have to thank my lucky stars. And if all of these years that I've tried to be a supportive son for you and do as much as I can for you, I would do that tenfold, 10 times over, whatever the term is, because you've done everything you could have done to give me as best of an upbringing as you could have, despite the circumstances. And I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
Is that the end of it?
It's not the end of it, but give us a hug quickly. I love you.
I love you. I love you more, boy.
Special woman, this one.
We both got tears in our eyes.
Yeah, that's all right. It's healthy to do that.
For God's sake.
That's one thing to say. And that's what my dad always said to me as well, because he's quite a hard bloke.
You're not a man if you don't cry.
That's it. That's what he said. That's what he said to me. And I fully agree with that, because there was a point in time where and that was during all of this, I did not shed a tear. I on my own. I was like, do not show any signs of weakness. All this, you've got to be strong for your mum. It's bad though, isn't it? How dreadful to feel that. And I think this is why I also did the podcast as well, to highlight that as men, especially, you've got to get in touch with your emotions. And
you should.
Yeah, I'm doing my therapy. It's fantastic. I've been through counselling. My dad, he was a very, very, not hard on me, but he was very hard exterior. Yeah. Very what you'd call manly man, on paper. Gentleman, but he was a blubberer, didn't he? He blubbered all the time. He loved a good cry, didn't he? He genuinely was so emotional, and I'm glad that I've got that from him.
It's a good sign to show your emotions.
Yeah.
It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign,
No.
At all. I think people think it's a sign of weakness, but it isn't.
Do you know, that's one other thing I would say as well. Like, it was quite difficult during that period, I think, as well, because you and Dad you had an up and down relationship.
On and off.
You loved each other so much.
We did, but I couldn't cope with his addiction. He couldn't cope with my problems, and But we tried and tried and tried.
And it was so difficult because he was getting so ill, and then you were getting ill with and it was.
I loved him though,
but it was one of them, wasn't it, where he couldn't be in and around at the time because he was so immobile. He was becoming so ill, and
he was.
Mum was hospital bound. It was such a difficult phase when you would have just.
We did love one another.
They loved each other so much, and it was
I would say he was the love of my life. So
yeah, he was a special bloke. He had
a lovely
nature,
kind nature.
He did, and I think
I think you've inherited it.
We joke. I can't stand alcohol. Generally can't.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I like a glass.
You like a glass of wine? Oh,
I'm needing one now.
She needs one after this. I'm telling you. That's one thing I will say. She deserves everything after whatever she's been through. So I couldn't give a shit. You have whatever wine you want, whatever. But Dad, bless him, he did struggle, and I don't like alcohol, but
no.
I think
he likes it in the morning though.
Yeah, constant. I don't. When you've witnessed someone,
and he used to hide it, didn't he?
Yeah,
hide the bottles.
We used to find them when we were ripping out bits in the bathroom and stuff like that, underneath the boards and all of that. Anyway, but it puts you off when you see it, sadly.
Yeah.
But he was a good support for me. Not that he could be there physically all the time for me, but he was very good support for me. Yeah. He was. When I used to go around to him in his house, and then the homes that he was in after. He was like, you stay with me, you cry as much as you need, and then you go when you need to. He was very good with me. He would have been extremely. Well, he was extremely proud of you, and he knew how strong you was because obviously we did see him, didn't we? After all that you got to spend time with him before he passed in 2021, and he knew what you'd been through all for that period.
Yeah.
And who knows, in another life, maybe things could have been a bit different, but that is what it is. You now thankfully get to live on 8 years on in your second life, and just keep going forward now, don't you? Just keep always forward. There we go. Always forward. It's just mum's always pushing forward now, day in, day out. I tend to remind her how special she is and how much
I've forgotten.
I've
been a bad mum.
No, you haven't. You've been a special mum. She's been through a lot, and I'm all I wanted to do on this podcast was really just do a bit of a highlight to mum's 8-year second life journey, and talk about some of the struggles that she's got post treatment, highlight that, some of the struggles during, and there's a lot we could talk about in future episodes, but
hopefully might help someone.
Exactly that. The spotter mum. So obviously I'll explain this to mum every now and again about the podcast. The idea of the podcast and the spotter, the term, obviously with the gym, spotting people, helping people in the gym. This is my way of helping people in and outside of the gym, not just on the gym floor, to a wider degree. And I want to make this I would love to one day this to be the number one mental health podcast out there. And I've said that many times before.
And he likes talking.
I do. I said we were going to stop at 30 minutes and we're at 36. I do like talking. So that's one thing that helps. But I think...
And that is actually one good thing. You should talk about things.
Yeah.
You should share your emotions.
Well, before we get to the end, because I'll ask you, as I do with all my guests, the question that I'd like to ask to finish off. But this podcast is all about helping other people in whatever way we can, through talking, having conversations, drawing upon experiences, my life, mum's life, the people I get on. I've got a lot of very exciting guests coming up soon in the next few months, so stay tuned for that. But I really do hope that these conversations help in as little way as possible. Even if it encourages a conversation or you to take action, reach out to me and say thank you for doing it. That means the world. I will link the charities that I've mentioned. I must do another shout out as well to Macmillan Cancer Support. They were very good during the time that we were struggling and going through it. Very good to the family. Leaflets, brochures, information, everything we needed, helplines. Anthony Nolan Charity, thank you very much for everything that you do.
Brilliant charity.
Without which you may not have been here. So we really do thank you. Shout out to Always Forward for having a special message as a brand, and allow me to be an ambassador and push forward and show that message stands true in everything I do in my life and other people's lives as well. So make sure that you use JJC10 for 10% off on all of your clothing items. I have to do a little plug there. But yeah, I think, and also another mention to the Encephalitis Society. Re-encephalitis is a very, very important charity. So thank you very much for coming on. I'm sure you'll come on again, Mum. There's a lot for us to delve into. You did all right today, so
Thank
you're okay.
Thank you very much.
Might do a Q&A episode with Mum at some point. Maybe the birthday special for my birthday could be a Q&A with my mother. That would be good. So that would be a shout. So stay tuned for that. I was thinking about doing an eating challenge as well, but we'll see. Maybe it's something special to do. I do like my food.
Good night.
No, wait a minute. One thing to finish.
My glass of wine.
She wants a glass of wine. Right, as I said, the last thing I do with the guests on here is to say, if there was one message that you had to give, and you were saying that then to people perhaps struggling in their life at the minute with something, mental health, or they're struggling to talk, struggling to take action, they're feeling quite alone, what would you say to them in order to perhaps help them? Something to pass on to other people.
Just reach out.
Reach out.
Don't be ashamed to talk. And reach out, get help,
take that step forward. Use your family.
Just reach out to your family, friends, whoever, and I'm sure that that will be 50% of the way. The rest of it is down to yourself.
It is, but that's all you can do. Take a step forward, see what happens, and that is a step forward.
One step forward, 2 steps back.
But keep going.
Keep
exactly.
Going. Always forward.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next one.